Well, the one I was speaking about earlier was House Bill 268, and what this was is this was actually about 6 months before the session started. I had a constituent that came to me, and this constituent had grown up in the Valley and had a boyfriend in the Valley, and when she was ready to go to school, this boyfriend tended to be very abusive and didn't want the separation, and it seemed like there was a lot of intimidation, and sounded like it got to a point where she actually had gotten hurt. And so what we decided to do is try and help victims like her. And so what we looked at is we looked around at other states to see what was being done, and what we found is that there is something called, I think it's called Crystal's bracelet, or it was called some other bracelet. And what it did, this law, is that those people, and usually it arose from domestic violence issues, but those people that had an order of protection against them and now have violated it, under current law, on that second violation, when you got taken to the judge would have two choices under current law, and that's to fine that individual or to incarcerate them, to put them in jail. And so what this bill did is it gave another tool in the toolbox. And what it did is it set up exclusion zones. So the exclusion zones for the victim would be their house, would be their school, would be their place of employment, or their children's school. And what it would do is if the offender could afford to pay it, the judge could order that offender to get an ankle bracelet on. And that ankle bracelet would be monitored 24/7 to make sure this offender didn't go into the victim's exclusion zones. And if they did, there would be a phone call or a text message sent to the victim's phone to let them know that the offender was near, because usually that's when people get killed in these types of incidents.